live, Pierre.
Welcome back to the Hockey Edition live show, the morning skate show with the hockey coach guru from raining day. Raining in Florida.
Raining there?
That happened a lot, but it's a little bit storm this morning, but it's all right. We take it. It's only 65, so it's good in the morning to wake up at
Oh, there you
65.
go.
And we have to go all the way to the West Coast to find Michael DeVillano. Welcome back, Michael, and welcome Kimberly Shepard or Anna. Depends what she's
Oh, we
coming
have both
from.
the Kims are here.
Yeah, so once she's on YouTube, she's Anna, and once she's on Facebook, she's Shepard.
Oh, it's the same person. Damn.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a double Kimberly.
I wonder why we're quiet this morning. There's not a lot of people on yet. Well, there was a lot of hockey. Not a lot of hockey last night, but there was some hockey last night. Well, we have two visitors, and both of them are Kimberly, I think.
Yep.
What's going on? That's all right. Well, we had a few things notable. I'm going to cut out for at some point because I think I told you, Pierre, my sister and nephews and mom have been staying with us for a couple of weeks from Canada, so they've been visiting. Oh, let me get them to YouTube. Yeah, we need to have you on both Facebook and YouTube apparently. So they're gonna take off soon. So I'll book out for about 5-10 minutes and I'll come back. But before we do that, we saw a big signing at the beginning of yesterday. I don't think we got to talk about it, which was I didn't expect this. I don't know if you did. Was the re-signing or the extension of Adam Fox with the New York Rangers, and he gets 7 years, $66.5 million. We saw previous to that, Morgan Riley signed for an average annual value of 7.5, and he gets 9.5, which is consistent with players like Seth Jones. I think Werenski had the similar contract, Darnell Nurse. So are you surprised at the amount and the term? Did you think that they were going to re-sign him this soon?
No, it is good. I think it's he's only 24 years old, so I think it's a great contract for both parties. And it's a straight 9.5, no signing bonus, no close, nothing. So it's going to be 9.5 next year until the following 7 years. So he's going to be 31 at the end, 32. So he's going to have another contract, a little bit like Martinez got, and he's going to get the prim. And maybe at that time, the contract is going to be, 12, 14 million. But he is, if you think about this, you have an above about 7.5 win per season for him as a defenseman. That's pretty unique. It's pretty good. And he's under market about $55 million at the end of the contract with this to count what's going happening for the next 7 years. So it's going to be like, so I think overall it's pretty good contract for both parties. And, not this year, but next year they're going to have a little bit of concern with the Rangers for the next 3 years with Zibanejad, with Panarin. Now we have Fox. So those guys are over like $9 million. So, it's a lot of money on the right players. Now they have, two great forward. Now they have also the best defenseman, where he was the winner of the Norris Trophy. So I think it's pretty good and unique there. It's funny because he's only 24. He got traded twice from Calgary to Carolina, the big trade for Doug Hamilton. Then he got gave away by Carolina by a second or third round pick.
Wasn't much.
At the end of the day, New York Rangers win this part.
I think this emphasizes for me, this is that American NCAA loophole, and I don't know how you address it, but he was drafted by a team. He said, "I'm not going to sign. I'm going to wait it out," and then moved. So I guess that's his right, but it's an unfortunate loophole. At least they got something for him, both teams. He has made the most of this situation. I wonder about this contract. You add in his contract at 9.5. You're paying Jacob Trouba $8 million. Does this mean that they might have to look at moving Trouba?
Well, this contract will be hard for them for the next 4 years, right? Because you'll be 4 years at 9.5 with other players. Maybe they will try to trade him, but at $8 million for Trouba, not many buyer is going to get him. So they will be
No,
stuck with him, and they
we
cannot
changed
buy him out. Too much money over there, so he'll be stuck with them. But we have a good year so far, so we have to give him credit for that one over there.
Yeah, Trouba's a
But
good defenseman. He's just overpaid.
so that's something I don't see. They will do something about that. They are stuck with him.
Yeah, I think it highlights the interesting situation of the NHL. They'll still have Lafreniere for one more year on his entry level deal, so that's positive. He needs the time. Ryan Strom's a UFA next year, so it'll be interesting to see if they move him or re-sign him. I think he's a steal at 4.5, but maybe they decide to move on from that. I don't know. They've got enough depth. Something's got to give in there. So they've got to come up with a few bucks to make up for that. But good signing, I think, overall. He's already won a Norris, which, whether you agree with it or not, he's won it. And you look at his numbers, and he's had 98 career points in 134 career games. So that's pretty solid for a defenseman. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And he's on pace for a point a game right now. So we'll see if that maintains. So congratulations to him. And I think it's a good move by Chris Drury, probably one of his first big ones. And it puts a major piece under contract for a long time. So that's good. And suddenly the Chris Kreider contract, like the William Nylander contract's looking cheap. If that's your... And I think the other thing is next year is Zibanejad's contract jumps from 5.3 to 8.5. So it's going to be interesting to see what gives. Do they have to move on from Ryan Strome? They use like a Philip Sheetal or whoever to fill in the spot. Does Kakko ever pop through and become that second line center? So those are all things to keep an eye on. But congrats to Adam Fox at this point. Good morning to Jarmo, our friend from Finland is here. And then Frank Salazar has joined us. And we obviously talked to both the Kimberleys who are the same Kimberly. All right, so we had, 3 or 4 games last night? I can't remember. First game was a big one, which first one was actually Washington-Tampa. And I thought this was a great game if you watched it. It showed both teams at the height. We got an early goal from Brett Leeson on a tip. So that was his first NHL goal. Anthony Cirelli had a real good game. Barre Boulet gets some points. In the end, the Lightning managed to end the Capitals' season-opening 8-point streak. So I think that was, or their game streak at 8 games. But overall, I mean, both teams look great. I think the difference in this game might have just been that inch, which was goaltending. We know that Washington without Samsonov still. So was Samsonov back? I thought he was back.
Yeah, he played.
It's weird that he didn't play last night, though. Vanacek played last night. So I would think that if Samsonov's at the height of his power, you're going to want to go Samsonov against Vasilevsky. Vanacek did okay. It was kind of probably the difference in this game. Big time minutes from Ryan McDonough, 24 minutes. Holy smokes. That's kind of crazy. Got goals from Braden Point as well. Connor Sheary gets his first of the year. Kuznetsov continues to rack up points, gets his 8th assist. So this was a fun game to watch. But I think the big breakthrough game, though, that we want to talk about is Chicago. So winless going into this game. It's the return of Patrick Kane. What was your thoughts on what was going to happen and what did happen in this game?
He got called up at 4:00. It was confirmed he was going to play. So he showed up with that. They play what is supposed to be. Kane has nothing before that. It was a good, but not good. The team was struggle around, but Fleury did well. As Fleury's second good game back to back now. The men carry on their team, and that's a Kane Hat. They did it for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
One have 4 point, one have 3 point, and I call it they're going to win yesterday.
Yeah,
I'm not concerned about Chicago, but I'm concerned about Ottawa. Ottawa struggle. Ottawa not looking good.
Yeah, since Tkachuk came back, actually. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Since Tkachuk came back, they've had a little bit of problems.
They have problem there. The rookie does not well. Not the rookie, but Sozol struggle.
Oh, Stützle, yeah.
Only 4 point, but 0 goal. I don't know. That's a second year in the NHL, so he does not play the level he should play. He have a couple of percentage on the send, but it's a bit alarming for him. It's a team now. They try to find the 8 stays and everything like that. And you can see they miss a couple of players, right? Now Pinto is not there, White is not there, and
Yep.
only
That
sometime. And then
hurts.
maybe that was the worst game of Murray this year. We came back from an injury and he was not great
Nope.
yesterday.
The other goalies played better.
So I think at the end of the day, you have to give credit for Chicago get their first W of the season, but Ottawa and again Ottawa played tonight, so a back-to-back game for them. That will be very interesting what they're going to do against Minnesota. But you know, it's good for Chicago with all the
Absolutely.
drama, everything that's going on over there.
Yep.
It's just continuous, to focus more on the players want to focus on the game, not on the offside. And it's just like, and then this morning, Marian also announced he want to postpone his jersey retire over there now. So it's another story over there this morning in Chicago.
Interesting. Yeah. Why
Um,
tie it up with all this stuff? Just go off into the future. Good
yeah,
morning.
so he make a good statement on the about the Kyle Beach, and then he
Oh,
mentioned
he did.
about that part. So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's a first class player. I think he'd still be playing if he didn't have that rash issue. He had a really serious rash issue that I think that was the reason because the skin order. We know hockey players have trouble with this. They get these crazy rashes that you can't get rid of. But he was a prototypical leader, and I think this shows that. He said, like, let's delay this. This is no time to celebrate.
yeah.
Yeah. Good morning to Oleg, and he's right. Vasilevsky, I think, was the difference in the game against Washington. So yesterday, another news we saw was, which we kind of talked about. What do you do if you're Montreal? And I kind of said, listen, you got to make some moves of some sort. And it looks like they decided the move to make was a struggling Cole Caulfield should go down and get some games. He's had 1 assist in 10 games. Looks like a shadow of what we saw in the playoffs. It looked like a franchise player in the playoffs, but he's been struggling to get on the board. And I think this is probably the right move. What was your thoughts on him going down?
But they don't have no choice to. Yeah, no. If they want to call up other players, they don't have. Nobody can call
No,
down if you're not going the waiver.
right.
So they have something have to go also with administration, salary cap, everything like that. That's the first thing. The second thing for him at that moment, yeah, nothing wrong there. He's not the first one, never going to
Yeah.
be the second one. I don't think so. This is for long term. He,
No,
he
hopefully not.
dominate on front categories for the Montreal Canadiens on front like rushing or rebound or kind of something like that. So he was not the worst player on that team. It's just
No.
the stat does not show exactly what happening. So it's just like this is going to be about a couple of weeks, I believe, and I
Yeah,
think so. He'll be back
go down, get some
at
goals,
the
come back.
end of the month or something like that. I would not see this going to be for all year long or something like that. It's not a punition; it's more about the situation with the team. So
Yep.
it's about confidence and come back and then get stronger. And of course, he was not happy about this. But the big conversation today is about Jonathan Drouin. Drouin unhappy. Drouin screamed to the coach this morning.
What?
Drouin screamed to Foley. Drouin screamed to Anderson, and Drouin fight with Romanov.
What the hell's going on?
I don't know.
But this is the stuff, Pierre, we saw before from him. This was what was going on in Tampa, and like they were like, this guy is just a little bit,
It
I
was
don't
an
know.
unhappy morning for him over there. Not like a fight drop the glove, but he was a battle in the corner, like
Yeah.
1 versus 1, and he turned around Romanov completely on the on the ice, like and big conversation with like upset with the coach about the direction of the power play, whatever it was, and then after that was unhappy, so he turned around to Foley, and then he turned around to Anderson, and after
Is
that,
he
so
trying to rile them up?
you
Like,
have a
is he trying
clip
to?
you have a clip about this morning. So that's
Interesting.
what Jonathan Drouin this morning. He's going to play center tonight. Montreal game decision with Gallagher tonight, and also and the bad news now they know now Joan and Manson will be pushed back for 2 more weeks.
Wow. Wait, so he's going to play center tonight?
Yeah, they don't have the last pair Perrault Pocket.
Right. Wow.
So they don't have
All right,
anybody
maybe
there.
it
They
worked.
called
Who
up
knows?
Peseta, and Pelzil is going to be called out this morning, and Gallagher is going to show a probable for Petrie right now. Petrie have a difficult time right now, so
Yeah.
we'll be interested. Norlander started to skate yesterday. That's a good news for them. I would not be surprised to see Norlander the next couple of games tonight or the next 2-3 games. Um, maybe not tonight because he just skate yesterday, but Norlander, I think he will have maybe a couple of games before maybe he go to Sweden.
Yeah. Oh, really? You think so?
I think so. I think why not? Yeah, they can go until tonight, Michael, at some point.
Okay, maybe you might be right. You wouldn't
You
go
know,
just go to the AHL?
no, he cannot go to EHL.
He has to go back to Sweden.
Yeah, that's his contract. He has. Yeah. So
Weird.
we have no choice over there. So I think at that moment, with what they have right now, why not to let the game? The only thing he's on the roster. He didn't play games, so he's not count as a year yet on his contract.
Okay,
But
so that's what they're
he
trying
have,
to
he
say.
have already anyway a contract like that. So I don't think so that'd be bother Montreal to get him like 3-4 game if it because of contract.
I'm going to step away for a second, as I mentioned. I don't know what game you'd like to talk about. I'll probably be about 10 minutes, Pierre. Good morning to the Canadian Giant. We have Vallejo. Also, our Finnish friend Vallejo here says drama in Montreal. Vallejo loves it. Frank Salazar, is there some emotion at least? And that's what I'm wondering. Like, is he just mad that things aren't working and people got to step up? Maybe that's what he's doing.
Well, I think he's good. There's nothing wrong about this. I think sometimes someone have to show something on the ice right now, like upset, right? You cannot be happy with a 2-8. So it's better to have a guy like
Love to
this
be happy
show up
about it.
this way. You know what I mean? Maybe too much about the coach, but Dominic and Jonathan works together for over many years together. Remember, Jonathan Drouin play for Dominic Charm when he played on QM, so they have that kind of relationship. Um, Jonathan considered Dominic like his dad, so I'm sure he was upset like this, like talking with his dad. It's nothing like personal versus the coach at the end of the day. So I think overall, I think he did, I think it's good to see this. It's good to see Montreal, see how it's going. But Montreal with more injuries, so will be a game decision about Brendan Gallagher, Jeff Petrie. We know they lost Perrault for a couple of weeks. Joel Edmondson is now returning. We have also called up Belzetta yesterday. They dropped Cole Caulfield. And then finally this morning, they also called Belzil from Laval in case if Gallagher is not on the lineup tonight. So another situation. So what happened if Petrie is out? They're going to bring Niku inside the lineup this morning, tonight. And they already have Whiteman over there. So as a roster movement, that's what happening with the Montreal Canadiens. What happened with Carey Price? I understand. I mentioned yesterday, maybe we're never going to see Carey Price allow. This Friday is the last day or is treatment with the NHLPA safety program, whatever they call it. And what we heard from Dominic Sham this morning said Carey Price is going to be more days before he come back from. He's in Vancouver right now, where he live in Kelowna, and they expect to see him maybe next week. If it's not that, I still don't believe it. I still believe he would take a little bit longer. I would not be surprised he go for 45 days to 60 days. I always been that way with him about his case. I'm always mentioned he's going to take that kind of time before he completely recover, before he return with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, yesterday, I start thinking that way. That's what happened. I don't know what plan. I did not know. It's just thinking about a little bit farther. If Montreal go with, they play full game at home and they go 1-3, that's give them now 3-11 at the middle of November. I'm not sure what Carey Price want to do with Team Canada. I'm not sure if he want to go to Team Canada. I don't know if he want to go all the way over there. I have no clue. But I would not be surprised, and I could be wrong here, if Carey Price decide to take a year off completely, where he need a little bit longer on the safety program, another month or maybe 2 months, and then he just said, you know what, I'm not recovered yet with my injury, whatever it is, and he just skip 1 year. That would be I wouldn't be surprised. Now, Caden Primo is not going to be ready for me at least 2 years. Jake Allen contract finish in 2 years. They have a couple of goaltender in the NHL is going to be open up. I think Steve Oettinger in Dallas is something we have to look about him. Then you have also Copricello Case in Columbus. You have to look about him. Then you have other goaltender, the carousel goaltender happening last summer during the off season. You have some goaltender have only 1 year contract. Is it the time for Montreal to looking other option and move on with Carey Price? I don't know. Can Carey Price decide to get retired? I don't know. It's all the subject I bring to you yesterday with perspective could happen to him. How you know that, coach? And I don't know. I'm just give you a perspective. Is a direction could happen. I don't say it will happen. I don't have no source personal to say, oh, that's what Carey Price is going to do next week, everything like that. No clue. My originally idea about Carey Price, when he decided to wait 30 days, it was 45 days, 60 days. Then after I come back, prepare for Team Canada. I always thought that would be the plan. Now, more longer the team struggle, more longer I'm thinking maybe he will not come back. He's very close with Shea Weber. He'd make a ton of money. He have an amazing, great house in Vancouver. He's in part of all the rodeo and the horse and all the kind of stuff like that over there. And who knows? At some point, life changing, right? We've been there. We know it could happen. So would be interesting to see that what could happen, but we never know. Good morning at work, listening. Hello, all. Michael Robinstein, welcome back. Alex had a great save of Valiziski yesterday. Velo said Moro, and it's like a more hello, but more nicely. That's what I heard this. Drama in Montreal, always drama in Montreal. You know, it's funny because people, he's going to be an American Hockey League, he's going to have less pressure. From Montreal to go Laval, you cross a bridge, and now you are Laval. So everybody from Montreal Canadiens, they're going to follow him in Laval anyway. So he's going to get this. All the attention will be on Cole Caulfield, and will be interesting. He's going to play this morning at the practice with. He practiced with Pinard, RV Pinard, and Poland this morning. I think it'll be fine. I think we have to be patient here. No panic. Everything like that, I think we'll be good about that one. That's good summation, Frank. Absolutely right about this one over there. Good morning, Greg Sanchez, back in the house this morning. From Moncton, New Brunswick, come on down, Mr. Johnny Golden. Hey, what up? Talking about Johnny Golden. Why not talking about the collaborator, Mr. Tap, directly from Toronto, Ontario. Welcome, everybody. So thanks for joining us about that. So that's what happened about the Montreal Canadiens overall. A little bit of happening. It's not going to be pretty all year long, guys. You have too many things right now around that team. You cannot come back in the race. You cannot. You're going to deal like one game. You can win every 3 games. That will be my ratio of the year. One game there, you lose 2-3 games every time that. It's going to be a long team, a long year, but that's part of what happening about. So we'll be really interesting about how they're going to react every time that. And people blame Bergevin, people blame Ducharme, and the players connect with the coach, every time that. It's just a year like this. It's happened to Flowers last year. And look, the Flowers, what they did. Who was fired last year with the Flowers? Coach? No. Vigneault is still there. Assistant coach? No. Terrien Yo is there. The general manager is still there. They never fire anybody. They just try to find a way to get better, and they make a couple of trade, and they get defensemen. So for me, it's this part. Now Montreal is different right now because the pressure and You have to win in Montreal. Everything like that. Me, I would say to you, only we don't know what Marc Bergevin does not have a contract signed or is not returning. Montreal is going to be on the water right now with left, right, left, right. They have no direction. They have no vision because they don't know what Bergevin is coming or not. So that's what for me is my biggest problem at that moment with the Montreal Canadiens. Is all in or it's move on. And now I mentioned this yesterday. It's time for the Montreal Canadiens looking for the best GM or the best coach if they one day they have to go that direction. Stop thinking about the French people, have to be a French guy, you have to speak French. It's not a matter of the language anymore. Not in 2021. 40 years ago, that's another story. Not today. You don't need to have French Canadian players in the team. That's the you pass this now. So I think right now they have to figure out something like that, and they have to find what Josh Molson. Josh Molson have to step up now and sit with Marc Bergevin and get ask him what he want to do. Because right now he has no direction. Whatever Marc Bergevin with the passion he has, he love Montreal, love the team, and he's close with the team. It's time to start up to figure out all in or all out. And then you move out about that one over there. Waiting for Florida as a Washington. Washington have a day off today, by the way. They decide to take a day off. So we're going to be on the ice tomorrow morning at the Florida Panthers rink. And they're going to play tomorrow night, Thursday night, again, the Florida Panthers. The price situation is very delicate situation. You need to handle very carefully. At the end of the day, in our tap, the situation with Price is only him. Him is going to decide exactly what he wants. It's nobody else. It's not Bergevin. It's not Ducharme. Nobody else. Price said, "Hey, I'm not going to play, or I'm going to play, or whatever he decides, they will just listen to him." Montreal have a good way to do that. Know how they hack with him, how they did with Drouin, and how they did with Edmonton. So I think at the end of the day, it's really Carey Price have the last word on that situation over there. You have to think carefully. I know players have probably always want to win, but they have to be smart and realize they need to retool carefully. They have to turn it around for next year. Yeah, if that's what he wants to do, we don't know what if he, nobody know. Honestly, nobody know what he has. Nobody know what is the situation with himself. So they gave him 30 days. It will be interesting to see after Friday what the Montreal Canadiens is going to announce and what he's going to do with him. But that's the case about that one.
Back Pierre. So we're talking about Carey Price, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. We don't know the situation. He's kind of like doing his own thing.
He's going to be a little bit longer. So he's not in Montreal right now. He's still in Vancouver, Kelowna. And Friday was the last day's program, but from what Dumicham said, it would take a little bit. The only he said it would take a little bit longer, more days before he come back in Montreal. But he can come back Friday. He said he'd be out for 2 more weeks. So he requests another 30 days for the program. We don't know exactly.
Is what it is, man.
The last news about that one over there.
Yeah, I don't think it's hard to put a timetable and things like that, right? You just got to feel like he wants to come back. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah. So, I know yesterday he's not coming back, but
at all, like ever.
No. Yep.
Oh, Price is done.
That's what I think.
Oh, that's what you think.
Yeah, I think Montreal's looking for Coppusalo or Hottinger for the Dallas Star.
Oh, Ottinger, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean they've got Caden Primo. I'm not sure how ready he is.
Take 2 more years.
Yeah, so I think that makes sense. Like if there's going to be some goalies available, maybe Marc-Andre Fleury.
No, but I think Coppusalo could be another target over there.
Price has to handle it carefully. If he preps for Team Canada, but then decides not to play for the Habs, the optics look horrible. I can't see him doing that.
No, it's not going to happen like this.
I don't think that's going to happen.
First of all, he's going to be suspended.
Yeah, that would be silly. I mean, they could agree to do that. It's like, hey, prep for the Olympics, go play the Olympics, come back and be ready. But that's
No,
going
you cannot do that because your contract with NHL. Every time you go to a program like a safety, you have to be documented by doctor. Every time that, right? Plus, Michael go a long-term injury like Weber Kucherov, right? They have to be documented by doctor. You have to prove to NHL he can do about. Because remember, the last month he started skating Kucherov, and the NHL request to say why he's not play, but you have to prove paper to be sure he cannot because he now recovery. He take 2 weeks in the doctor. So for me, it would be impossible for him to do that. At least he said, you know what? I don't play NHL anymore. I go for one more time Team Canada, and then I'm done.
Yeah. All right. So this is a good story next to segue into, and Yarmo kind of thank you for leading into it. He says, what about the Edmonton game? Koskinen has been some way okay so far. I don't trust him too much. I think he's been okay, and that's what they need. They have offense on another planet. Now that they have secondary scoring, Pierre, is crazy, and the primary scoring is out of control. Last night we saw Draisaitl, initially like, oh, he's not scoring, he's only getting assists. Yeah, okay, he's got 7 goals now.
Yeah, 4 points yesterday, right? So
10 assists. He's got 17 points, Pierre.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Duncan Keith gets his first goal of the season. There's not much you can do here. This team is just a machine when they get going. Kyler Yamamoto finally gets on the board. He has been such a disappointment since last year. I hope he gets out of the funk. He's got lots of talent, so there's no issue there. And I realize he's probably playing a diminished role now. But you look at McDavid has what? 18 points, 17 points, and 17 points for Draisaitl.
Yep.
So that's pretty incredible when you consider how many games. 8 games, 17 points for these guys.
Well, back what you almost said, I think it's Koskinen. If you look at his stat, every time that, people blame him. People he does not do well, and he should get another goaltender. And I understand that it's just like a long term. Koskinen is not going to carry on as a number, but you cannot blame him. You have 93.1 yesterday, and like Yamo said, I don't trust him. It's just like when you watch him, Michael, it's like your PlayStation goaltender. Like you don't know if you turn right, turn left. He's on balance. He go backwards. He turn around. He's speedorama. He's just not a normal. He saved the puck yesterday, so that's all you have to give him. But look what he has: 5-1-0, 2.21, and 9.33.
So the numbers are good. He's a big goalie, Pierre, so he's not super athletic. It's more about positioning and rebound control for him. And if
he made the save.
He's making the save.
So you cannot blame him at that moment right now. You can say, oh, yeah, but, it's just the longevity of what it will look like until Mike Smith is not there. That's the what you have to be careful about that one over there. But right now, you cannot blame him.
They've really only, I know they faced a lot of shots against Vegas, but Vegas has high volume of shots. I would say not change of angles. And this is a goalie that if you shoot straight on him, he's going to be able to handle it. It's more like you get him moving. He's got a big 5-hole and he has a hard time going side to side. So he's had kind of an easier go of it. Philadelphia, we know, is having gave him a real tough time and beat him. But Vancouver's struggling a little bit. Seattle's struggling a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see against better teams. I just don't see his numbers holding up like this.
Well, as a backup number 2, to get 5-1-1 with 2.21 and 9.33, whatever it is, you have to give him credit at some point about that. And yes, I called the game yesterday 5-2 for Edmonton.
Oh, there we go.
And I called also the Chicago. Last night was on fire.
Yeah, you're on fire
right. Last night was on fire right now, so it was pretty good. But yeah. So and what a power play on Edmonton is like, power play is what 50%, 46% right now in the NHL. So it's crazy. It's like this. I can give it to you right now, right here. I'm right there.
Do they show it on here?
46.2, Michael.
What? That's not going to hold up, but that's incredible. I mean,
But you have an 8 game. That's pretty unique.
that's
You see that
incredible.
the Blues are 35, Michael, and then in Calgary at 29.2.
Wow. Yeah, we
So,
knew it's early, but that's pretty damn impressive. I mean, how do you
35, Michael, you'll be shocked to see this. It's already impressive 35, right? But now
Oh
you
yeah,
talk about 46.2, and the under PK, Michael, is 91.1 and 91.3.
that's amazing. Well, it's going to be interesting. Let's see what 7 more games brings, like when they get to kind of that 15, 20 game mark with the numbers if they come down, but they would have to go into a pretty big hole for that to drop a lot. What other viable options does Team Canada have? Development of goaltending has been lacking. I agree, Frank. I think this is a Canadian black hole. I don't get it. I think Canada has got to come up with a national goaltending program, not just equipping regular coaches to train goalies and not just relying upon independent goaltending coaches. There's got to be a program where there's a camp, they pick the top 10 or 15 prospects at a given age group or a couple age groups. They bring them in and they train them in one methodology because the talent is there, the volume of goalies is there, but we're not seeing top end like these other countries. I just think there's got to be something different done here. I mean, I don't know if they have any interest in it, but we're not seeing like super goalies come out of Canada. We're seeing good goalies, but they're not really panning out the way you want. We're seeing the best goalies from the US, Russia, Finland, Sweden. Like those are kind of working out a little bit better right now. I want to see Edmonton play Boston, Washington, and Tampa. I agree with this, Frank. I think that that's going to be the real test, and they ought to hope they have Mike Smith back in. And even if Mike Smith's in, I'm not sure that that's the level of goaltending that they would need. They need like something else. Like a John Gibson might be that type of answer. They've got to figure something else out because I think when it gets down to it and they go against the top talent, neither of these guys is going to work out the way their numbers look. Who's the number one goalie in the Finnish national team? I'm not sure. Would this be Saros? Who do you think would be the number one Finnish goalie? It's not Pekarinen anymore. That's a good question. So if we look, let's look at the NHL to start because that's usually where the better guys are. I wonder if you can filter by nationality. There's goalies. So we know we got Freddie Anderson. He's Danish, right?
You have before that, Michael, it was really Pekarini.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, Tuukka Rask.
Tuukka Rask too. Like
is only the next one over there. And then after that, you have to go with Ranta, Korpisalo, Saros, Koskinen.
So you got to think it's Saros at this point.
Sorry about that.
You would think it'd be UC Saros at this point. So maybe that's the answer.
Yeah, because after that, I have to go with Kakkonen and Uso.
Yeah, and he's kind of.
So the only thing they have right now, honestly, they don't have a. You talk about Canada, don't have a lot of goaltender. I think they are not too much also over there.
You know, it's a good point. Like you look at the top goalies. Freddie Anderson's not young. He's Danish, Russian. He's a little bit older. Russian, Finnish, Canadian. So Binnington, maybe we underplay Binnington because his numbers have been very good. So you got to think Binnington's in that mix. Vasilevsky's the best in the world. He's Russian. So a lot of Russian goalies. So they're doing something right in Russia. Cam Talbot's Canadian. But I don't know. I never really bought into the Cam Talbot story. Markstrom's Swedish. Craig Anderson, American. Like, I can't believe this guy's numbers and his age. The numbers are all pretty low. So you got to think these are all going to jack up a little bit. Thatcher Demko's American. Tristan Jarry, is he Canadian or American? I thought he was American. Is he American? No. He played in the WHL, but he's from Surrey. So Tristan Jarry might be in consideration. Sorokin, Darcy Kemper maybe. I don't know. It's a weird one. He's from Saskatoon. So there's not, Jonathan Bernier's pretty good. It's going to be interesting.
I think Saros right now is the best one for Finland.
For Finland, I think you're right. The U.S. has got a bunch of good options. Spencer Knight, Connor Hellebuck, John Gibson's got to be in that mix. Thatcher Demko is pretty damn good.
We'll be interested in Spencer Knight there too.
And Spencer, yeah, like Spencer Knight, you got to think is in that discussion. So maybe we're downplaying Binnington because I think for Canada, if you look at his numbers, they're pretty solid. 243 career goals against average.
I think they're going to give the net. If Price is not there, it would be Fleury.
That would probably make sense. That would probably make a lot of sense.
Yep.
Let's see. If he doesn't play a single regular season game, I just cannot see Price being in this mix. Brad Marchand's son joins us this morning. Boston needs to trade for Hurdle or Monahan. They're really struggling on that power play. I mean, either one of these guys would fit. You don't know what's going on with Monahan. He's had some pretty serious injuries and now surgery to correct those. We still have not seen him reach the level he was before, so that would be a little bit risky. You've got to think there's something physically going on there. So you got to check.
Hagel is not going to trade for Monahan, so they will keep him right now. They're looking great, and the only one you have to figure out is San Jose Hurdle. But that Hurdle now with the Kane situation, Kane's not coming back. I think they will sign him. They have enough money now to open up for that situation. So I don't see him to go nowhere. Honestly, Boston, we knew this at the beginning of the year. They're going to suffer. I think they become, for me, I watched them last week in Florida. They are a bubble team. They are not an amazing, great team. This is about 15 on my standing, and I see them between 13 to 18 at the end of the year. So if they make the playoff, Michael, they'll be barely make it. But the Metropolitan Division, Michael, is so good. I don't see Boston make the playoff.
You might be right. I mean, they've lost Krejci, they've lost Rask. Those are big departures.
But that's the center. They don't have enough.
Big deal, right? It's no joke.
Brad, he's right when you said that.
Yeah, I think he's right. To your point about Sweden, Vallejo, it's kind of surprising. Like, we know we got Markstrom, but he's not really in the top numbers here. It's kind of interesting. Like, where's Markstrom? Oh, there he is. He's number 8, so he's up there. He's having a great start, so that's good. Okay, I was like, wait, I thought he had someone. But then
it's Markstrom, Ullmark, Forsberg, Hohenson, Gustafsson. So 3 of them is coming from Ottawa, but 2 from Ottawa, and then you have a Colorado. So they have the only thing what they have this year, Michael.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, Carter Hart, if he ever gets back on track, would have been in consideration, but I just don't think he's where you expect.
The only country, Michael, is really studied is Russia for the Olympics.
That's crazy.
That's really what. After that, you have to go USA, I believe.
I think you're right. It's really interesting to look at that, and you're probably right. Fleury will get the chance. He's had a terrible start, but that's the whole team. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. Like, who's the next great Canadian goalie? I guess, your hope is that Carter Hart gets back on track because he was definitely there and that would be the guy, but I can't think of, I think you got Sebastian Casa, but he's a ways out. Like, he's probably 4 or 5, 6 years out, right? Yep. Good morning to Greg John. Bud the Monkey has joined us this morning. Oleg says, do you think Spencer Knight have enough practice in Florida before the Olympics? Yeah, I mean, he's going to be in that discussion for sure. He's been the darling of USA hockey for a while. I think Boston.
I'll be honest with you, Michael. I watched him this weekend. He's one after Martin Brodeur. He's maybe like Carey Price. He's maybe one of the best controlling the puck behind the net. He played the puck like it's unbelievable the way he played the puck. Really, really, not many can do what he does right now at his age and confidence he is. Right now, he can play a goaltender number 1 for Montreal Canadiens all day long today.
Spencer Knight, you mean? Or yeah. Krejci, I think, is a big blow. That's a tough guy to replace. He was like just a veteran guy that was really smart, and he just aged out. It's been between Boston and Toronto for third in the division. I still don't really believe in Toronto, so I agree with that. Lundqvist was the king for a long time in Sweden. That is a good point. We know that, I think that the goaltender that was drafted by Minnesota will be really good. I'm blanking on his name, Wallstead. So I think that'll be the next guy. But again, he's going to take time. From the last 2 seasons, they lost Krug, Chara, Rask, Krejci, and lots of veterans and great players. I agree. That's definitely, it adds up. I think right now what they need is goaltending, because they've got depth and they've got some veteran stars, maybe more than ever. But it'll be interesting if they miss the playoffs. Is this the curse of Taylor Hall?
No, honestly, it's the second center, Michael. That's what they don't have. Like
Yeah.
it was the game again. They win the Panthers 3-2, but the second center is not there. They shift Ola. They shift Greg Smith. Um, they move Pastrnak on the second line. They shift the line. They miss Nick Foligno right now also.
Yeah,
So
that hurts too.
it's a team right now struggle.
Entertap says the Achilles heel for Canada will be goaltending, but I think we have decent goaltending. Like you could put a Jordan Binnington or a Carter Hart or whoever you want in, Marc-Andre Fleury, because the defense, Pierre, is insane. Like when you bring in Canadian defense, it's really deep. Do we think that's going to happen again? I can't see it.
Well, I think one name we don't mention is underrated, but I don't know what it will look like. But Mackenzie Blackwood is another one they have to look about him.
Yeah, we haven't seen a game from him yet, so that's going to be interesting. We know he's got health problems still, and the whole vax thing is being prevented because of those health problems. He had COVID last year, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't know why they don't have. I wonder if they do. Oh, they do. Look, they have nationalities. This is kind of neat when you look at it this way, and then you go what defense, right?
No, goaltender.
So you look, Aaron Ekblad, Drew Doughty's out, Giordano, a little bit older, Dougie Hamilton, Cale Makar.
The defense is solid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think you could put a pretty good goaltender in, and you're going to have a real hard time getting to the goaltender. The defense you can't.
You have Doughty and Roddy's fight for a spot over there.
It's going to be crazy. I mean,
Darnell
Nurse, you've got to think is in that conversation.
Yeah, Lee Tank.
Shea Theodore. I mean, it's just so much depth here. Whoever the 6D they put in are going to be real tough. They're all going to be number one defensemen for the most part. So that'll be interesting. I wonder if Dougie Hamilton's going to be in the mix this time. I would think so, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think he's taken his game up to that level where they understand what he is. Let's see. Who do you think wins tonight, Montreal or Detroit? I'm not sure. Detroit's been a little bit off. And
I would go with Detroit. Montreal, with all the injuries they have right now, unbalanced lineup, everything like that. I would go with Detroit 3-2. But, if Montreal win, it'll be good. But I think Detroit have a little bit, did not play well the first time against Montreal Canadiens. They beat them 6-1. But they are 4-3-2, Michael. So they have 9 games. They have only 1 bad game. So I think you have to give him, you know what I mean? So
and there were some coaching decisions in there that were part of that, which is bad choices of the coach in Detroit does not seem to understand who to put on the ice in key moments. It's weird. And then it cost the team crazy giveaways at the last 4 minutes. They got to fix that. Just wanted to mention Yanni Gourde came back from his injury, 5 points in 6 games for Seattle. He's been playing on the top 6, mainly the top line, actually. So I think this is panning out the way they anticipated. He's been playing great. Giordano's been playing great. But, this team's just shy of being a playoff team. I just don't see it right now. They're just a little bit off. I don't see where they're going to get in. Jaden Schwartz got his first goal last night. Carson Soucy has 2 goals. That's a surprise. This is a guy that we didn't get to see a lot of. We saw him sign a pretty decent contract, and then we're like, really? But you watch him, he's a pretty solid D. So overall, 3-6-1 for the Kraken. Is this where you thought they would be at this point?
Yeah, they scored 2 goals yesterday. That's what you expect, 3 goal. It's not bad at all again in Edmonton because they play well against the Rangers. They play well Montreal. The team's going to fight now for the spot in the Pacific Division, but that's what it should be.
Yeah. They're good goalies, but not the type that would steal a game for Canada. There's too much parity between countries. I mean, Jordan Binnington has won a Stanley Cup. So he's been that road, and he's always been a goalie that does steal games. So I will give him credit for that. And I think playing with such a solid Canadian defense, you could really rely on Jordan Binnington, I believe. Carter Hart, I thought, would have been in a better place to be the goalie, but right now I think he's still coming of age a little bit, it looks like. He's kind of regressed to progress. Joey Remetta, thank you for joining us. For Finland.
Joey, a long time ago. Joey was one of the first at the beginning of the Hockey Nation Live show. It was show up as the New York Rangers, so he's happy about Adam Fox signing a contract.
I'll bet he is, yeah. Yarmo says, for Finland, I'm only proud of Barkov and Aho as centers, but I mean, do you need more? You got Zibanejad. Is Zibanejad Swedish? He's Swedish. So I think, I don't know. The defense will be, Finland's going to be underrated and very good. They're going to surprise us. You got Patrick Laine in that mix. He's having a great year. Puya Harvey's playing really well. That's a real good player. They got lots. And Rantanen, if he's healthy, like Finland's going to be no joke. They're going to be tough to handle. They got a lot of big, fast forwards, and they play a gritty style. I think when you go down at Yarmo, Finland's going to be very tough to play against.
But, Barkov, Grenlund, Aho, Rantanen, Teräväinen, Laine, Ristolainen, Donskoi.
Yeah.
But it's a team is struggle a little bit. I believe Lundell is going to be part of that team.
I got to imagine. Like, he played so great in the beginning. Think Lundell makes a team. I think he'll be in it. He's better at this point, in my opinion, than Kotkaniemi.
And what they have right now, they're going to get Kotkaniemi in also.
Joey says he hopes they make Adam Fox the captain. I don't know if I agree with that, but
the only problem with that part over there is because they still have great grader over there. So I think their captain should be Chris Grader.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I wonder after he can retire, he can give to Adam Fox. But would be interesting. They have too many choice at young age. They have Lafreniere, they have Fox over there. So I think that would be better if they go with Grader. For me, it would be Grader. But
I don't know what he's like in that dressing room. I know they were talking about trading for a long time, but that contract right now looks really cheap. I mean, how do you get a power forward, 6'4" guy that scores 25 goals every year? And I mean, he's just always there. You put him on the third line, he scores 24 goals. Any free agent Seattle should look at for next offseason? No, I think they need really good draft picks. I think Benners, you got to think at some point fits in that team. I don't think he's a difference maker from a franchise type.
At some point, they will, Michael. They have to because they don't have enough forward to score a goal, and they have a lot of money to spend. And Bernie's maybe be back, maybe be with them next year. I think that would be interesting if they can get one or two of them. I think that would be the targeting. They cannot wait too long to get a draft and then build in 4 years. I think they will look for add some power at some point next year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do, because I don't think that's been the strong suit of Ron Francis, is signing free agents and bringing in guys. Like, he tends to be kind of conservative. I could see them going for like a Ryan Strome type guy when really what they need is a sniper. They need someone that could put points.
I think Tarasenko could be the answer.
Should have just taken him.
You know what I mean?
They could have just taken him. Fox is too young. I would agree with that. Lundell, if healthy, would be good third or fourth center. Rupi Hins, we see again. You think about Finland, you start going down the depth. You got Rupi Hins as your third center or a left winger on the top six. Finland's going to be a pain in the neck to play against. Think of all the 6'4", 6'5" guys: Laine, Rantanen, Rupi Hins, Puya Harvey, Barkov. That's a big.
For some reason, he struggled this year.
Who is?
Hins.
What? No, he's been their best player. Have you watched him?
But no, the team is only 3-3, 3-3, and the Dallas struggle.
The team is struggling a little bit.
But it's all the team, and it's not like he
you're right.
Last year was really dominate Dallas overall, but this year he's not. Like, I watched 2 games of them. He was right. It was Rezulov over there.
You're right. He's only got 1 assist, Pierre, in 8 games. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, last year he played great, but this year, you're right. Wow, his stats are way off.
Yep.
Jarmo would love to see Laine succeed with Finland. Do you think we're going to see Laine sign soon? He's playing really well. Do you think Patrick Laine will re-sign with Columbus?
He said 1 more year RFA, so.
So you don't think there'll be an extension until the offseason?
I don't know. I don't think so. He will do that.
Yeah, maybe. He's playing
Uh,
great. I'm really impressed with how he's played.
Him is more about a guy who want to have a freedom, and I just feel that.
Maybe. I think he just wants to be played. He wants to be the top guy. Malkin and Giroux are up after next season.
Yeah. Yeah, UFA.
I don't see either of those guys going to Seattle. Barkov, Aho, Hins, Lundell down the center, like that
Yeah.
is scary.
Makes sense.
And Hins can play wing. I think there's just a logjam there for Hins, maybe. Nico Hischier is very young. He's captain of the Devils, but he's Swiss, right? So he's a Swiss-born player. And I think your point is that he's young and he's captain of the Devils. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. But they're a young
Yeah.
team.
Well, that's funny with me because you don't have veteran at the only one you could give a captain with was Zajac and Palmieri, and they knew what they will leave at some point. So that's a fun dynamic of roster, Rangers, and the Devils at some point. Fox to tell to Panarin to shut up or tell to Panarin what to do. I don't think so. But Grador can step up inside the locker room and shut down everybody because he is right now the Mister Rangers at that moment. So that's the kind of what I'm looking about this. So Grador 4 or 5 years, and then Fox pick it up at 27.
It would be a good plan.
That would be my pick. I don't say you're not right.
Yeah, I don't know what will happen, but
I think that would be the way I would do that.
I mean, he is 24. The guy's won a Norris Trophy. I get it. You don't think Zibanejad? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know him enough to get that one.
Team Mexico wins. Oh, interesting. Frank Liney will play with Barkov or Aho. Man, either way, that's like phenomenal. Kreider is the best net front presence in the league. Well, next to Al, I think Anders Lee is probably better than that. I wouldn't mind if Kreider being captain, but I think Fox is really respected in the locker room. So maybe it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Him struggles on the scoreboard. You are correct. I did not realize that. I just watched the game. I'm like, man, this guy's so dominant, but he didn't get points. Hellebuck not practicing for the second straight day. I think he's got an injury, man. There's something going on with him. He's hurt.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. One day I don't know if you saw him, but they lost 2-1 against San Jose Saturday.
Yeah.
And when he left the ice, he fly to get out of the ice, and he didn't want nobody to talk to him. Like usually,
or something.
he just get out of that one over there. So that would be really a blow. Like you talk about Carey Price, that's what Hellebuck is for the Jets.
I think you're probably right. I mean, I think he's hurt, and I think he's trying to play through it, which is not always a good choice.
Do you think Orvis make the team Sweden at the bottom line players? Will be really interesting at that moment. But depends the coach what he want. He want experience, so he want to give. He has so many Sweden young kids, so good over there. So it'd be interesting about that. What he going to do? Jordan Caulfield plus to Saber for Hagel. I don't think so. Why are you going to give Cole Caulfield for guys you don't know if he can play hockey?
That's the problem. I think that there's just
general manager. I don't touch Jack Hagel. Whatever he play great, and he make 1,000 points. You don't going to risk your next 5 years, 7 years to give your prospect for him.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't know. Maybe it depends. We've seen this from Caulfield before. When he was at the World Juniors, he was not good. And then we see it looks like he's a franchise player. I'm like, wow, this guy's way better than we thought. And now he's back to being invisible. So I don't know the answer there. Eichel, if he's healthy, is going to be a star. But is he going to be healthy?
Yeah.
Seems rough. Does Vegas have much depth in the minors to accommodate with their injuries? Sort of.
I have a good question for you. Amadio, is it Amadio got waived claim from Toronto, Michael?
By Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
fourth line
now
center.
he's the third center for the game tonight.
Well, he's capable. I mean, he can.
But wait a
He's
minute, just give you an idea, they don't have enough depth. You pick up a
yeah.
claim a guy to bring as a center. So they at some point, I mean, they never have those they don't have no center. That's the
Yeah.
problem they have right now. They don't have no center to pick up those guys.
Yeah, and Amadio will fill in admirably. Like he's a decent. He's kind of like Trevor Lewis-ish, you know.
But if he was good, Michael, why the Toronto did not keep him?
He's
They
not
don't
a, he's not an offensive player, Pierre. He's like Trevor Lewis. He's kind of like he'll be competent. Like he can play two ways. He'll win some faceoffs, but he's not going to get you points. I don't believe.
But that's not what they need, Vegas,
No,
right
this
now.
is temporary. Like, this is.
Yeah.
I think Hins will begin to score, as you said, Michael. He's controlling the play really well. When you watch Hins, he looks good, but something's not clicking offensively. And I think as Joe Pavelski goes, that team goes. So if Pavelski's on, then that team goes really well.
The only thing I would say, yes, like Yamo said something I did not read until I read him now, but
that helps too.
They play Michael after the game and maybe more without Kleinberg and Robinson. So the 3-3-2 don't maybe not show exactly who they are, but they need more productivity offensive, like Seguin, Radulov, Pavelski be quiet also. So those top six have to score more if Dallas want to be there.
I definitely think, by the way, like Pavelski is American, Joey, and he's going to be on the U.S. team. I think Team Finland will have the best PK. Maybe. They have a pretty good power play, too. I mean, there's some of the top offensive players in the NHL right now are Finnish. Depends on the timeline.
No, but just give you an insight about the monkey. Crosby, McKinnon, and McDavid, Hamilton, and Daniel Nurse, worst case, whatever, and power play. You have to have a really solid PK.
Yeah. Harvey Pinard, Pelling, and Caulfield is aligned in practice in Laval. Interesting.
Yep.
Well, that makes sense. That's not a lot for Caulfield to play with. There's only one really decent offensive player there. Good morning to Kelly. I got to jump soon. Joey, should Kreider be on Team USA? Yeah. No matter what, he'd be on Team USA. This guy's like, you look at his stats over his career, he's going to be on Team USA. I don't see that not happening. Good morning to Kelly, who says, go Leafs, go. Corey Perry reached out to Caulfield after he sent down to Laval. Interesting. Never liked Perry, but he seems to be like a good teammate. I think he's just a terrible person to play against. He's a rat.
Well,
Already here.
We don't know if Shea Weber reached him, and you know what I mean. Like you said that. I think for me, it was not the lacking with abs right now. What I would say to this is like to recognize Corey Perry, what kind of guy he is. He understands, and that's what for me is more important for that, and not to because Montreal have no lacking of leadership. We understand what he's missing there. Some leadership from Corey Perry, but at the end of the day, Corey Perry showed exactly what we thought. He has 1 point, 0 point right now, struggle with Tampa Bay, and obviously that's the reason why Montreal did not want to give him 2 years contract. Do you spend a player on the bench just because the way he talked the rest of the team? I'm not sure it's valuable at that moment, but obviously the reason they are Montreal right now is Price and Weber not there, and they don't have nobody to pick up them. So it would be interesting to see that. Matthews will score tonight. Matthews have to score some point because if not, don't know what's going on with him. 9 game tonight anyway. So
yeah, we have a bunch of games. I'll just run Golden Knights versus Maple Leafs, Red Wings and Canadiens.
Right, Marner Tavares to get out. That's a good move from Keith.
Yep. Red Wings and Canadiens. Coyotes, will they get their first win against Philadelphia?
I just want to mention, we never talk about this, Michael. You never mentioned this. And I think one thing Steve Eisenman did this summer, and nobody talk about this, he hired Alex Tanguay. And I think this is really, this is a really huge point here. Tanguay know what he won a couple of times, the Stanley Cup. And also, he's a great offensive player on power play. We turn that. If you want to help Zadina, Velino, those kind of player like this, I think Alex Tanguay is a huge assistant coach for me
Huge.
for the Detroit Red Wings. I don't said it's because of him. I just said the role he played on that team, I think is really huge.
Was he running the power play? Because the power play is significantly better.
Yeah, he does.
Like the difference between last year and previous years and this year in the power play, the wings are deep, the passes are crisp, they're dangerous, and they
But at the
move the
same time,
puck quick.
Michael, listen, you have a quarterback Cedar, you have Raymond over there,
Yeah,
but the
personnel.
outcome is not there yet. They're still at the bottom, 24, I believe, this morning. I look.
It looks way better.
I did, they are 14, but they are better overall about that one over there. So a little bit more like the offensive better with that part over there. But
Kelly wants to know if you're going to announce the Leafs game tonight.
I'll be honest with you about Makish, Philadelphia are real. I
Yeah,
don't see Flowers choke over there. The problem they have, they are on the wrong division. That's pretty much what happened over there.
Arizona will get 10 or more wins. I don't know. They're pretty rough, man.
I don't see more at 20.
I don't know how they're going to get to 20. This might be bad.
It's not good
Senators,
for the NHL.
we're still waiting for Kaprizov to get some goals here.
0 goals so far.
Jeez. Stars and Jets, that'll be an interesting game. I think that they're both kind of not hitting their stride yet. Predators have been playing pretty well. Flames are having a great start to the season.
But
Rangers,
the Flame are good, Michael, with Predator win the last 3 games. So it'll be
yeah,
interesting how they're going
I think
to
that'll be
look
good.
over there. But the Flame right now dominate. I think the Flame will be fine. The game of the night for me is the Rangers Canucks. That's the game for me to watch tonight.
Rangers and Canucks. Devils and Ducks, I don't think this will be too exciting. Sabres have been a little bit of a slide against the Sharks, who have been kind of struggling a little bit lately. So let's see what happens there. I'm interested.
Michael, Rangers 7-1, and then Canucks 3-6-1 is going starting to be hot in Vancouver right now. You can set 2-8-2 Montreal and Chicago, but it's Vancouver. Michael foul 3-6-1. Peterson does not well. That they're starting the rumor of coaching fire and all the crappy they heard last year. Last year at COVID-19, but now this could be really interesting, Michael.
Yeah, I think that there's got to be some coaching moves at some point here.
I'm
Should Ottawa,
not allowed in our top about Tim because he have 4 points and he have a lot of chance. He cannot capitalize right now. He dominate better on the percentage on that. Completely different compared to Caulfield. And the reason Caulfield is a Laval guys to bring back other players. The only player can go down without no waiver is Caulfield. So if they took advantage of this for a couple of games, he's not going to be there for 4 months. I believe me, 2 weeks over there, 3 weeks max. Thanksgiving, Ariel will be back if he's doing well. And over there on Ottawa, Michael, they don't have a lot of players experience like Montreal. The forward, the lineup is completely different. So why not? And also, Michael, DG Smith play Tim 16 minutes, 14, 15, 9. He play a lot. Caulfield play now the third line. He play only 12 minutes, 11 minutes. So why not to get him down over there? And I think that's completely two different thing. It's funny you talk about this because this morning I got a conversation about this. And I think just a sophomore season, that's what he got right now. But he have a chance, Michael. He just cannot score right now.
yeah, I think he'll be okay. It wouldn't be bad to set him a game and just let him watch from the press box. Sometimes that gives guys a bit of a break and takes the pressure off. But they're missing some players too. That doesn't help. They're a team that needs everybody in. Chikrin will probably want out at some point, and Keller also. That would be terrible for them, but maybe. Chikrin's not doing much for. He's getting all the ice time and not doing much. I think a lot of response. Keller's been playing well, but Chikrin I don't think has been anywhere near what we expected.
Yeah, but when you play that team, Michael, it's not easy.
It's not. It's tough. It gets to be like a big weight on your back. The Panthers have 3 more days till another game. Everyone gets healthy. Maybe
Have a good schedule, Michael. If you want to follow Panthers, Thursday, Washington, and the game of the week, Carolina Panthers, Saturday night, Michael.
Oh my God, that'll be crazy. Moritz Seider was named Rookie of the Month, Pierre. That does not surprise me. He's second in scoring for rookies, and he's a defenseman. He's been playing on the first power play. He's very good defensively. He has some shortcoming skating. I notice that every game, but he does not let that get in his way. He uses his reach and his timing very effectively to make sure that's not a problem. Shesterkin is starting tonight. If he is, it'll be easy win for the Rangers. I agree. Just don't want Stützle to lose confidence. I agree. I don't disagree with that. I think that they'll gauge that, but I think Tkachuk needs to, catch up a little bit. He's behind because he missed camp. That's what my feeling is. And if Tkachuk catches up to the level you expect, then Stützle will go along with him.
I just want to correct everybody about this. Carey Price, Exemplar Assistant Program is on the November 6th. So this is this Friday. I was right.
All right, so it's November 6th, so he's got 4 more days. Is he asked already for 30 more days? Is that what we're saying?
No. He just confirmed he was like, the exit date is so can he reapply? I don't know, but so this weekend or the next couple of days, we're going to see what's going on with him.
All right, Pierre, I think we've gone through everything. I really appreciate you covering for me while I watch my family go off back to Canada. So to Josh and Lucas and my mom and Tiffany, thank you for staying with us for 2 weeks. It's been fun. I think we'll see Price return soon. I am not confident of that, Pierre. I think he might retire.
I don't know. I said 45 days to 60 days. That was my plan at the beginning, and I still stuck with that part over there. But that's what I think it would be. So a little bit longer. I don't be surprised he's pushed until the Thanksgiving. But who will really know is honestly, we just assume, or we don't know honestly. So it'll be interesting to see Carey Price. But I don't see Carey Price come back with a team with 2-3 win at that moment. I think it would be just pushed back another 30 days. But could be wrong. Would be interesting.
Sorry, I couldn't. My thing was frozen. Should the Habs trade for John Gibson? I don't know. I think a lot of people would want John Gibson. I would think Edmonton would be a more likely destination.
Yep. John Gibson, if you have one direction you can go, it's over there, not in Montreal, unfortunately. That'll be right there in with the Edmonton Oilers, Michael.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
But I will say to you, Michael, if I was Ottawa Senator, I will look about this.
Sure. They've invested a lot in Matt Murray, but I think whatever happens, some contract for a goalie goes back to Anaheim along with prospect and draft pick, and that's going to be what Anaheim needs. So if they get Edmonton moves Koskinen, who we see is competent, he can play some games okay, and they get a guy like Broberg, or they get a guy like Holloway, or they get a guy like Xavier Bourgault, or not Xavier Bourgault. What's his first name? I'm forgetting now. But Bourgault is a real good prospect, and they've got a few prospects.
Honestly, Michael, I trade Shane Pinto with Murray for Gibson.
Yep. That would be the type of deal that would make a lot of difference for both teams. Because then you've got like a decent goalie. You're not worried about it.
Back another defenseman. At some point, I don't see Michael is it Decker or Decker? Decker, the defenseman?
Drysdale?
No, for Ottawa.
Joey Decker. No, Decker. Oh, Bernard Docker.
Okay, so him or Backstrom, both of them cannot be in this for there.
Oh,
one of you have to get out. And I think you can build this in the straight. And really? I will listening.
Why do you think that? It's too similar, but Bernard Docker
too similar. Too much similar. Then you add Jake Sanderson with Shabbat over there. I think that would be too much. Too much. They need more after that defenseman like Young Cole or more physicality, a kudos between both of them. I think they are going to get too much. Same similar. Some those 4 defensemen can carry on the puck, play offensive, return that. Too small at some point. So,
it's funny because I thought I maybe it was just my perception. I always thought Bernard Docker would be like an ideal 3-4, and because he's a little bigger, and I thought he would play that style. But you're right; he's a little better offensively than I thought. Like he moves the puck a little more. I always thought it was
not bad. I don't say it. It's just like for me, if I want to have I think if you have 2 or 3 forward defensemen can carry the back, that's enough for me. Then you can a little bit more defensive. You need balance as a 6D, not always the same kind of stuff like that. Talking about D, Michael, I want to mention, I know we're leaving. Ramus Anderson, guys, right now have an amazing, great year so far with Calgary Flames. I just want to mention this.
You know what? That's why they weren't so worried about losing Giordano. They knew he was a pending unrestricted free agent. They exposed him because Rasmus Anderson is a real good top 2 or 3 D.
Pick it up right now. I'll be honest with you. He pick up right there. He have a good stretch, but that's one reason why Calgary is doing well. We know we could roll everybody else, but he's one apiece right now. He's doing very well with the Calgary Flames right now.
And I mean, I still think Valimaki is a big part of that. Like, so they've got some good young D. Shillington's, got a bottom 6 role, and that's what you would expect from him. He's a decent skater. I think Tanev, let's not underestimate how good Tanev is defensively. I think that's a big leadership role too for them. So we're seeing Tanev and Markstrom have a big impact on Calgary right now, a year later.
Tabi is right. Pachuti came back 2-3 times. They have so many players we can go with that part, Michael.
It'll be fine.
And the great star playing in it now. They've been there before. Nothing wrong with Caulfield. Some people not agree. I'm agree with that part there. Again, I don't think so. It would be forever. But
he needs a stint. He needs to be offensively impactful. If he's not, you don't have that guy in your lineup. If he's not playing an effective top 6 role and on the power play, why have Cole Caulfield in your lineup?
And when you talk about Norlander, Michael, I was just said for me, experience there. Try to give him some experience before you return him over there. Just feel like what he looked like in NHL. He can learn from those games. Give him a 15-minute play on the third center pairing defenseman, right? Put him on versus the third 4 line for opponent team. Maybe a couple of power play over there. And they have nothing to lose anymore for the Montreal Canadiens. Not full year, but maybe for a couple, they return in Sweden and say, oh, you know what? I need to work on this. Oh, you know what? When I see this, I can work on this. Well, I need to have more adjustment. Experience, my word for Norlander. If they don't do that, I think they miss a big opportunity, Michael, because this thing don't go nowhere anyway. That would be not hurt to do that. Now, maybe they would try to save 1-year contract, but there's not count anymore with LC, the ELC. What they are already on the NHL roster, so I don't know the rules for the 9-game, whatever it is.
Yeah, it might be the move to make. All right, Pierre, thank you so much. What are we doing tonight?
5 o'clock, and then the Detroit and live stream after that.
It's going to be interesting. I think that'll be a closer game than we think, but
yep.
I'm pulling for Detroit, and Pierre's pulling for Montreal, so we'll be excited to see what happens.
1 or 2 win tonight.
You think it'll be a 2-win? 2-1?
No, I said 1 or 2 win tonight.
One of them might.
Yeah. The Hockey Nation show win tonight.
We win tonight. Well, maybe I'll join you for that. I think I have time tonight. We can.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you tonight.
Have a good one.